is a presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports. Live from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison, this is the Chris Ash Show. Your chance to talk with the head coach of the Scarlet Knights on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Tonight's show is brought to you by To be a part of the show, give us a call at 1-877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Now, let's go live to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison to talk Rutgers football. Here's your host, Chris Carland.
Yes, and we are entering the second half of the Rutgers season as we welcome you again to another edition of the Chris Ash Show here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. Thanks so much for joining us. Chris Carlin alongside Eric LeGrand. Still recovering from the Yankee loss.
Yeah, I still don't know how to feel about that, Chris. I really don't. It hasn't hit me all the way.
Don't feel good. Don't feel good.
No, anyway, not good. No.
No, absolutely not. And the head coach of the Scarlet Knights is Chris Ash, and he is with us. Coach, good to see you as always.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm doing great. Got a little stress lung here as a gift today, so I'm doing great.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like a squeeze it.
Yeah.
All right. That works out well.
That's what I got to do when I work with you guys.
Understandable. 877-384-1869. That's your telephone number to call in and talk to the coach. 877-384-1869. Tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio and at RU Athletics. And if you're here in person at Quaker Steak and Lube and you have a question for Coach, come on up and see our guy Bradley right up here in the Rutgers shirt, and we will get you on the air for your opportunity to ask the coach a question. Scarlet Knights getting set to visit Maryland this coming Saturday at noon. We'll talk more about that matchup in just a little bit. And Rutgers linebackers Deontay Roberts and Trevor Morris are going to stop by a little bit later on as well. Looking forward to that. But we will start by taking a brief look back at this past week. A disappointing loss, 38-17 to Illinois. Coach, I know it was, the first half of the season has not gone as you would hope, but I think out of this past week you had some developments that were some positive strides in terms of some of your growth.
Yeah, we're always trying to find the positives right now. You're exactly right. The first half of the season hasn't gone the way we wanted. We're not where we want to be, but we've really talked hard and worked really hard to get our minds right to not stay where we're at. And, we got a locker room full of guys that want to get better, want to continue to work. And, as long as we do that, then we'll get out of this spot at some point. But last Saturday, you mentioned a disappointing loss. It was, but there were some positives that we can take out of it. Our offense threw for over 250-some yards. It was one of the most productive passing games I think Rutgers has had since 2007. It shows that Art continues to get better. The young receivers continue to get better. And when I say that, there were a lot of plays that we did not make also that were out there for the taking, where we could have had more yards and more points. And we just got to continue to improve on that. Defensively, we played 62 plays, and 58 of them I would say were winnable football plays. We gave up 4 plays that accounted for 207 yards, and you just can't do that. And, I've talked about that before, the explosive plays. Again, it's a different person. One time it's a D lineman, one time it's a linebacker, one time it's a DB. And, those things continue to bite us, and we got to get fixed.
And, Coach, can you talk a little bit about on the defensive side? You said those one guy maybe jumping out of a gap. A lot of people don't understand. They see the big plays, they see the gaping holes, and they think it's the entire defense. But can you explain how? As a defender, you got to read the defender, what they're doing, and stay disciplined to your gap and your man and what's going on and reading and what the other person is doing in front of you and reacting. And sometimes it's hard for even young guys to read that.
Yeah, you're exactly right, E. When a big play is allowed, the natural reaction is, well, the defense is not right, and that's not necessarily the case. Usually when you're a single gap defense like what we are, sometimes one person in a breakdown can screw things up, and that's what happened a couple times on Saturday. One guy got out of his gap for whatever reason, whether he was trying to do too much and make a play when the ball was somewhere else and the ball came back to where he was supposed to be. That happened a couple times. And you got to have a solid wall, and it's called gap defense, gap integrity. And when you have that, that means everybody's owning their gap, owning their responsibility, and you've got a solid wall, and it's tough to run on that. And last Saturday, I had 2 plays in particular where we lost our gap integrity, and the ball got out the gate.
And when you have younger players like that, you mentioned trying to make a play. The understanding that they have to come to of the bigger picture here, you may be trying to make a play and do good things, but at the same time, getting away from what you're supposed to be doing is what ends up killing you.
Yeah, you got to play within the call, got to play within the system. You know, defense is system. Football, it takes all 11 guys doing their job. And the unfortunate thing is, you know, one guy gets out of his gap, 62 plays, he may have played 45 of those 62 plays, and 44 of them are really good plays. And it's the one play that he jumped out of his gap that cost us. And, you know, that's happened. That happened, you know, in each of those situations, the 4 plays I'm talking about. Didn't necessarily all hop out of the gap. We had 2 that we missed tackles, and we had opportunities to have negative yardage plays that went for big gains. But it is about playing within the call, playing within the system. You make plays when you're doing your job consistently. Plays come to you. And it's hard for some players to understand, but it's something as a coach we have to get through to our guys that's what we have to do.
And going to the offensive side of the ball, obviously you didn't start fast as you wanted to, but there was light at the end of, I believe, that first half where Art went down the field 9 for 9, and there was a lot of, you know, short intermediate routes, but the connection that he had with everybody out there, the O-line, the wide receivers, the running back, it looked like it was just a perfect drive, Coach. You talk about what was called, what was going on, I guess, through his head. It just mention how that happened, because that just showed the positive and gave everyone hope.
Yeah, I think when you look back at the last, you know, really 3 games, you have seen some signs within the game of really good drives that have been put together. And it starts again up front with the offensive line, and then the quarterback distributing the ball, making good throws, and we're catching and things like that. We have done that in each of the last 3 games where everything is working together and it looks really good. Our challenge has been doing that consistently. Saturday against Illinois, we had a really good drive, and then we had a bad drive. We had opportunities to put points on the board, and there was a drop or there was a protection issue. You know, late in the game, we had a chance to score a touchdown, and there was a drop. It would have been a walk-in touchdown. You know, those things, we shoot ourselves in the foot in some drives like that. But like you mentioned, the drive where we went down in the second quarter and scored a touchdown, if we could do those things consistently, we're going to put a lot of points on the board at some point.
With that in mind, part of that drive, not just Art, but Travis Vokalek, you really saw what he's capable of on that drive in particular, including the touchdown. I think he had either 3 or 4 catches on that drive.
Yeah, you know, it was really, I hope, a breakout game for Travis. We'll see as we go forward. I think, you know, fans were able to see some glimpses of what we have seen of Travis from last spring and what we were hoping he would be here in the first half of the season. He's learning still. He's learning the offense. Saturday he was thrown in there, and he got a lot of action because of Jerome Washington being out, and he took advantage of it. And that's what young players need to do. When you get those opportunities, take advantage of them, because if you do, it'll create more opportunities. You may never come out again. And Travis made some really big plays in that game. He blocked better than he has blocked so far since he's been here. Tremendous improvement from him. And, again, it's another young player that we saw some plays being made by that really excite us as we go forward.
You know, I think we've talked about this before with the tight end position, but in particular, it's not an easy position to learn because of all that's involved there. Sometimes you're being an extra offensive lineman, things like that. So with Travis, as that has come along, not just catching the ball, you mentioned the blocking, where has he developed the most through the first part of the year, even though maybe the production hasn't necessarily been there until this past week?
Well, there's really 2 areas. One, just his overall knowledge of what we're asking him to do. You know, in different systems, the tight end position is either more simple or complex. Ours is complex. Because we're going to ask him to shift in motion, a run block on the line, off the line, spread out as a wide receiver. We ask him to do a lot of things. So the learning curve is greater for a young player. So where has he improved the most? It's just his overall knowledge of what we're asking him to do. The second part of it is run blocking. Even earlier in the year, he really struggled, and it's what kept him out of, you know, opportunities to play. Is he really struggled in the run game, and Saturday he improved drastically.
Well, I want to talk about the improvement on the wide receivers, Coach. They're now starting to get separation, things that were a struggle for them last year and in the past, but now you're starting to see guys get open, Shaheem Jones, Bo Melton. What has been different, I guess, in practice, or what have you guys been working on for them to start developing and starting to get better?
Well, there's nothing been different. It's just consistency with what we do. you know, I've mentioned this before. This is for some of those guys, like Bo Melton, who played last year. This is his second offense in 2 years to learn. And, you know, for a young player, that can make it more challenging. But the more we do the same thing over and over and over, the better off he's going to be. And I think because of our consistency so far in the first 6 games of what we've been doing offensively, you've seen improvement with several players at the wide receiver position, and we need to continue to do that. It's been slow improvement, but now we need to ramp it up, and it needs to be a drastic improvement here in the second half.
Got our first question from Twitter. Again, you can tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio and at RU Athletics, and our telephone number 877-384-1869. This is from Nick Zimmer. Coach, how does Jonathan Lewis like being at the tight end position, and what do you plan on with him at that position in the future? We saw him for the first time there this past weekend.
Yeah, he got some snaps out there, and you know, Jonathan came to us and asked us to give him an opportunity there. It wasn't something that we approached him about, and I've mentioned this several times. Absolutely love Jonathan Lewis's attitude and his approach to our football team. You know, he just wants a role, and he wants to help the football team. He saw an opportunity to potentially get some reps at tight end. He knows the tight end position from being a quarterback. He knows the formations, the adjustments, the motions, the shifts, all of that stuff. So he went out there. We gave him a couple opportunities in practice a week ago. He took advantage of it. He looked great. He's got really good hands. And last week he took the whole week practice at tight end. He got in the game. And hopefully we can continue to develop him and see, you know, what's going to be the best fit for him in our offense moving forward.
Well, I was going to say, you know, learning the game mentally, he's got it, but physically he's what, 6'3", 240, Coach? How do you like that at that size?
He's just a biscuit under 245. He's a good-sized kid. I'll tell you what, though, he is a hard worker. He's very intelligent. And I was very impressed with how he picked up what we wanted him to do in such a short amount of time at the tight end position, because we already talked about that being a difficult position to learn. But they put together a small package for him. He picked it up. He worked extremely hard in practice. And hopefully if he embraces it and continues to stay there, hopefully we'll get some production out of him on game day.
A couple of other things that I know that you were pleased with. Your special teams really continues to excel in a lot of different ways. Yeah,
you know, unfortunately, Justin was unable to perform, you know, like he normally is last Saturday. He got in there late in the game. We'll see, you know, where it's at. It's going to be a week-to-week deal with him. But our coverage units, our kickoff coverage right now, I think, sits number 1 in the Big Ten for the second year in a row. And I truly believe, you know, really good teams can do, you know, 3 things. You run the ball, stop the run, and cover kicks. Unfortunately, right now, we're not stopping the run the way we need to, but we are covering kicks, in my opinion, the best that we have since we've been here. Our punt team, our net punt is the best that it's been since we've been here. And, you know, we gone basically from the last in the league in 2016 to we're 6th right now. We need to continue to climb. We've been climbing over the last 3 weeks, and I like the path that we're on.
And, Coach, we've been talking about those big plays and things like that, but if you realize the field position that the other opponents have been starting with has been in their territory, which is, you know, why they have those big gaping plays. But you talk about that punching and being able to pin them back inside the 10, inside the 20, things like that.
Yeah, Adam Korsek's doing a great job, but it really starts with our specialist, our long snapper. Billy Taylor's doing an outstanding job. There's a high level of trust there. Every time he goes on the field, he's going to put the snap on the money. Our protection has been very solid this year. You know, knock on wood, I think it's been the best that we've had since we've been here. Very excited about that part of our punt team. Adam is doing a great job of placing the punts where we want him to. And then our gunner player has gotten better. You know, without great gunner play, your punt team is going to suffer, and that has been an issue for us in the past. But right now, I think we've got a core group of guys that really embrace that role, accept that challenge, and are going and doing a great job along with the other components of the punt team.
We'll take our first time out of the night. We'll come back, talk to the coach some more a little bit later on. Rutgers linebackers Deontay Roberts and Trevor Morris will join us live here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. We're live on RVision on ScarletKnights.com, Facebook Live, and, of course, on 1450 WCTC in New Brunswick. Stay with us. We're back in a moment on The Chris Ash Show.
Best tailgate? It's gotta be burgers. And an ice-cold Coke.
Real football y pollo asado.
Hoops and wings. Dude, subs.
Nah, hot dog.
No, Dodger dog.
I'll drink to that. Pass me a Coke. It's gotta be crawfish. Mac and cheese. No. 7-layer dip. Ribs. No contest.
Hummus.
What?
You need a hot grill.
An ice-cold Coke.
Of course.
Football and Coke. Come on.
It's got to be Coke.
Game day, race day.
Calls for Coke. You know it.
It's Tailgating 101.
When we take care of our own hearts, we're also taking care of the people closest to us. So it's comforting to know that RWJ Barnabas Health has New Jersey's most comprehensive cardiac care program, with access to top specialists, minimally invasive heart surgery options, and rehabilitation and wellness programs. So get your heart checked. It's as easy as visiting rwjbh.org/heart. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING. This is Cabell Philpott, host of the Nissan College Football Blitz. Heard every Saturday from noon until midnight Eastern on TuneIn.com and the TuneIn app. When there's a big play, a momentum change, and that possible upset happening, not only will we let you know, you'll hear the scores as they happen live. Catch all of the action as we count you down to the college football playoff. It's the Nissan College Football Blitz. Saturdays, noon until midnight Eastern on the College Sports Now channel on TuneIn.com and the TuneIn app.
All right, we're back once again here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. Another good crowd on hand for this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. Rutgers getting set to take on Maryland this week. Call us with your questions at 877-384-1869. And also tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. And Zealot on Twitter, Zealot Z, wants to know just pretty bluntly, and I think we've talked about it before, Coach, how did you find this punter, Adam Korsak? Because we were talking about the coverage a moment ago, and of course he's from Australia, and take us through what that recruiting situation is like a little bit.
Well, Australia is getting a reputation of producing some pretty good punters. If you look around college football in the last really 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a heavy number of Australian punters that have performed. I've been around them not only here, Ohio State, Arkansas. We had an ambidextrous Australian punter at Arkansas. He could go to his left.
Really?
He could rugby-style punt to his left and to his right. So, right now there's kicking coaches over in Australia that have connections here in the States trying to help their punters get placed. And they reach out to a lot of people, send film to a lot of people that are in the need for a punter. And we were looking for a punter last year, so we evaluated a bunch of guys that had been sent over to us from there. And that's how we found him. And, we thought that he could bring a certain skill set to our punt team, and we could do some different things with it. And, for a true freshman doing what he's doing right now, we're really thrilled and pleased about him right now and what the future looks like.
Well, Coach, as we're talking about recruiting overseas and whatnot, I believe you have a few players from Sweden on the team, too. How does that go into recruiting as well? You get guys from overseas and developing them or seeing how they develop, learning the USA football style. Yeah,
well, Sam Bretman was a little bit different because Sam Bretman is from Sweden, but he was playing high school football here in the States at Cheshire Academy. So that's how we found Sam. And then through, coaches over in other countries, they bring groups of players here in the summer to the States, and they tour around. They go do camps and things like that. And you get a chance to evaluate a lot of foreign players through camps. You get Canadian players that come down and go to do camps all over. Sweden players from Germany come over, and coaches take them on tours. And that's really how you find them and get a chance to evaluate them.
All right, Coach, familiar face, back for a question again. Third consecutive week, if I'm not mistaken.
She can only ask a question if she shows everyone the back of her shirt.
I got to see the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is tremendous.
I was not expecting that one, Chris.
Neither was I. Remind us.
Yeah, it was her idea from our Lady Knights camp. She It's awesome. Love it.
That's tremendous.
Fire away. Give me your best shot. What do you got tonight?
Okay, this is going to be a 2-kidney ball.
Oh, a 2-kidney. I needed a heart. Where's my stress heart?
No, it's not that bad. One of the big highlights, actually, of the game was your 2-minute drill that went on and how fast-paced everything was. Now that we're going into the Murderer's Row part of our schedule, will we see more upbeat, up-tempo offensive plays like that to keep the opposition off their guard?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. And, we have conversations about that a lot. Coach McNulty is really going through that right now, trying to identify the things that we have done when we're at our best. And you're right, executing the 2-minute offense has been pretty good here the last couple of weeks. Going with tempo has helped quite a bit. So we are having those conversations to see how much we can do out of those with our tempo in 2-minute type of situations throughout the game. It's not something we're going to do every snap and every series.
Obviously, yeah.
But I do think that there is opportunity for us to gain an advantage and get some rhythm going with our offense by doing that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Coach, I wanted to talk about how when you have the fast-paced offense on the defensive side, how does that affect you guys, trying to see the personnel that's coming in and trying to get lined up? And now the referee, they stand over the quarterback and allow you to get a substitution in and things like that. But how is that as a coach trying to go against that fast-paced tempo offense?
Well, there's different styles of tempo offense. And, 5 years ago, going against tempo was very challenging because it was new, it was different. And
yeah, I remember when I played in it was very hard to go against.
It was hard because if your offense didn't do it, it was like facing the option football. It was completely different for that week's prep. But now, really, a lot of people do it. 80% of college football is tempo, and probably even more. So you see it every week, so it's not as difficult. But again, there's different styles of tempo. There's some people that go fast to get lined up, get their formation set, and then they look to the sideline to get a play. So they're not really snapping the ball fast. They're just getting lined up so they can look how you align and try to, control the offense from the sideline and really not let the quarterback do it out on the field. And then there's a tempo where they want to snap the ball and run a lot of plays, and that's completely different. Those style of offenses are a lot more difficult than the ones that just get on the ball, lined up, and then they look to the sideline.
Well, we have a question on that very topic on the telephone at 877-384-1869. Nick is in New Jersey, and he is up next on the Chris Ash Show. Nick, how you doing?
Good. Everyone just kind of took my two questions. I was going to ask about if it seemed like the pace when we picked it up looked better, and then about the defense as a defensive coordinator, what the challenges were facing that. So
that's it?
Yeah. Eric and the lady in the room.
Well, Nick, just to follow up, one of the things that I do believe happens now when you talk about tempo in college, it's all over high school football too. And a lot of times high school quarterbacks get comfortable playing in that style of offense. And, when you go to college, they're sometimes more comfortable doing those things. And that's kind of what Art is right now. That's what he played in high school. It's what he played at IMG and a no-huddle offense. He's more of a pro-style offense or quarterback, but he does have a comfort level in those situations.
Appreciate the phone call, Nick. Thanks for checking in. One more thing on that. So much now, just philosophically, across college football, preparing quarterbacks for the NFL. We've heard about different scenarios where it's much more difficult for quarterbacks to prepare for pro style, what it's like in the league when they have been in that kind of offense through college. Where are the major differences there? Where do they have to learn when they're going on to that next level versus playing in that tempo in college?
Yeah, well, it just depends on what they're asked to do. When you get in the NFL, a quarterback runs the offense. A quarterback has to make checks at the line of scrimmage. He's got to identify things. He's got to set protections. There's a lot that goes into it. In college, when you're talking about the no huddle and spread, sometimes you use tempo. You just want to go really fast and not allow a defense to get their cleats in the ground and get set and get their vision, their eyes on their keys and all that stuff. And you're basically counting on mistakes being made because of the tempo, and that happens a lot. Then the other part of it is in college, there's so much look to the sideline, get the play call, and the coaches in the box are the ones that have identified what they want for protection and what they want for a play, and it's not being done at the line of scrimmage by a quarterback. And when you talk about development of the quarterback for the NFL, that's usually the biggest difference is when they get to the NFL, they have to do all those things, at the line of scrimmage, and it's not a coach telling them what to do from the booth based on what he sees. So it's different.
And I always wondered, too, because it is a cat and mouse game, and when the offense is checking with me, checking to the sideline, and the offense is giving, a different call, how hard is it as a defense? I know you try to stay in that call, but how is it hard to try to adjust as they're adjusting at the same time to mix it up on them and confuse them a little bit?
Well, yeah, you always want that built
cat
in.
And mouse.
It is, yeah, but you don't want to mess yourself up either.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those deals. If we're all wrong, we're all right, so to speak. But when an offense does look to the sideline and get a new play, our defensive guys, and that's just the way it is for most college football teams now, they look to the sideline and see if they're going to change the call. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It just depends on what your gut is at that moment.
Our telephone number, once again, 877-384-1869, and on Twitter, @Rutgers Radio. Send your questions in for the coach. Let's talk a little bit about player development. We have talked quite a bit this season about the youth of your program and the development program that is in place. So when you have so many of the younger guys on the field, where can they develop off the field? How has that gone through the first part of the season to help them get better when some of them are really thrown into the fire?
Yeah, well, I think it starts with our upperclassmen when they first get on campus. We had 10 guys show up last January, and the onboarding was very smooth, getting them up to speed with what we expect and how we do business in the program. And that's because of the players. The upperclassmen teach them. Our Big Brother system teaches those guys, what the dress is in the weight room, how to handle themselves in the dining hall, how to handle themselves in the dorm. It gets back to player accountability and that brotherhood that we have, and it gets back to the upperclassmen and the seniors, really. Then when guys come in the summer, when we're not around as much, again, the Big Brother program and the onboarding that takes place between our upperclassmen and the newcomers has been outstanding. It's been great, and I think it's helped some guys get more comfortable in the program because they feel like they're part of the team right away and not an outsider, so to speak, for a year.
And when it comes to, as you said, Big Brother programs and things like that, during the season you get caught up in the rhythm, doing what you have to do, getting ready for the game and stuff like that. Do you ever have time to meet with the younger guys and just talk with them and see what's going on with them and their life and how they're adjusting to that college life and stuff like that? Yeah,
I try to. It is very difficult. I mean, I try to grab, whether it's a newcomer or an older kid in our program, not kids anymore when they're older, young men. I try to grab guys as much as I can and have conversation with, but it's really hard because they're running all over the place with workouts, with tutors, with class, and all that stuff, and practice and meetings. The schedules are pretty tight for these guys. By the time they get up and go to bed, I mean, their days are filled. We did start a program this year for our young players. I don't run it. Our director of player development, Roosevelt Boone, does on Becoming a Knight that we meet each Sunday with all of our newcomers and go through what our standards and expectations and our culture is and how to avoid a lot of the pitfalls and challenges that they're going to face for the first time on a college campus. And I think it's been great and really positive feedback from the players that have been a part of that program. Again, just trying to get them acclimated to make good decisions and be a good teammate and focus on their academics.
When you have to, when you're out recruiting and you're, so many people talk about the football aspect of it, but those parts of the program are big parts of what you're selling as well, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, because it's not just about football. We want to develop the individuals in our program holistically, and it's academically, athletically, spiritually, socially, and then beyond in their careers. And we want to help them in all those areas. And that takes a lot of people. It's a very comprehensive plan to get all that done. It takes a lot of time. A lot of time is spent in the off season to help develop these guys and help them figure out what their passions and goals are and help develop a plan to get there. But that is very important to us. It's not just about putting on the helmet and going out and playing ball.
Well, that's when you talk about developing guys. Kenny Parker, as you always said, the strength and conditioning coach has the most time with the players pretty much throughout their careers. During the season, do you see the same type of people that I guess you guys get more time with them during the season, but still that same relationship building with the strength and conditioning side?
Yeah, your strength and conditioning coach is everything as a football coach. I mean, you've got to be aligned and Again, he spends more time with our players than anybody else by far. And you got to have a rock star in that position, and I think we do. And you can ask, Trevor and Deontay their opinions. They've been around him for a few years now, but I think he develops players physically, but also mentally as well. And it's he's very important into our culture building for our program.
And we have Trevor Morris and Deontay Roberts coming up with us next. Just a word about each of those two guys who have really been here with you since the beginning and even before.
Yeah, they have. We've gone through a lot together, the three of us, and I'm really happy and proud of the development that these young men have had over the last few years. They become leaders of the football team. They've gotten bigger, they've gotten stronger, they've gotten more intelligent. They're really serious about what they do. They take a lot of pride in their preparation as well as their performance, and they're really leading by example right now. And I can't say enough good things about these guys and how far they've come over the last couple of years. And I can't wait to see them continue to go and see what their life after Rutgers is.
All right, well, we'll talk to them next. We'll take a break. More to do. Another half hour to go. We're at the top of the hour on 1450 WCTC AM in New Brunswick and, of course, on RVision. At Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, this is the Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
When we take care of our own hearts, we're also taking care of the people closest to us. So it's comforting to know that RWJ Barnabas Health has New Jersey's most comprehensive cardiac care program, with access to top specialists, minimally invasive heart surgery options, and rehabilitation and wellness programs. So get your heart checked. It's as easy as visiting rwjbh.org/heart. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
At Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, caring is more than a job. It's our responsibility as a business leader and as citizens of this state. Through the Horizon Foundation for New Jersey, we're committed to working alongside those who share our goals. We're caring for our neighbors by supporting programs that help them manage important health issues. We're connecting people with health education that's easier to understand and accessible to all members of our diverse communities. We're creating inspiration by supporting arts and cultural programs that entertain, illuminate, and enrich the lives of our citizens. By sharing our time and resources, we aim to be not only a better company, but a better member of the communities where we work and live. Visit us at community.horizonblue.com and learn more about how the Horizon Foundation for New Jersey is working to support organizations that make New Jersey healthier.
All right, we have returned for another edition of the Chris Ash Show here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, top of the hour, and it's a pleasure now to be joined by two Rutgers veteran linebackers. It is Deontay Roberts and Trevor Morris, who have been busy guys over the last few years in the Big Ten, that's for sure. They've both been in the top 10 in tackles in the conference the last couple of years. Deontay, how you doing?
How you doing?
We're doing very well. That's a tremendous voice.
I did the deep voice, like the soul radio voice.
Yeah, I mean, were you about to break into
Smooth
song
jazz.
right there? Kind of sounded like it.
Nah, my voice is usually like this all the time.
And Trev, how about you? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing real well.
We appreciate you guys coming down here. And, first of all, talk about playing with one another as long as you have now. What's the experience been like to kind of grow together into this very challenging mental position that is linebacker?
It's been great, man. Like having this guy next to me, like, I'm with this guy a lot, so it's a cool little concept we got going on, man. I'm able to feed off him, like we're on the field and stuff. And there's like little things that I know that he does, and there's little things he knows that I do. So it's kind of like we feed off each other when we're playing. And that relationship we have on the field, we carry it off the field because I'm playing 2K with this guy every day, Fortnite, all that good stuff. So we just have a little relationship going on where we just know each other inside and out.
Right, just like Trevor said, he was like actually the first guy that gravitated to when he came in. So, you know, when I got to meet him and everything, and even when we was getting recruited and stuff like that, he was the first guy I spoke to and different things like that. So being on the field with him and stuff like that, just tremendous because like we feed off each other. We know what we want to do, and during the game, actually we kind of compete too. People don't know that, but we would be competing. Like, I'm gonna get this tackle. He's like, nah, I'm gonna get this. So it's it's a little competitive thing, but it's like my best friend off the field and on the field too.
And so we talked a little bit with Jay Neiman a few weeks ago, and he said how the development of you guys when you guys were going against Ohio State the first time out there, and now this time playing, just a difference of how much you guys matured and gotten better and things of that nature. What is it like when you guys are watching film together now and breaking it down from when you guys were sophomores to where you are now?
I guess you could say like the development you can see the development over the years. Me and him watching film together, you can actually see like different things that we point out, and we might come back to each other like, yo, did you see that on film? I'm like, yeah, I seen that. So like we actually talk about it, and even during the game we talk about certain things like how we want to play it and just the cheap things. But that's just the connection that you build over the years, and knowing the person that you're right next to. So it is something that just kind of build on chemistry and stuff like that.
Coach Ash uses, and I know it's a big word in the program, of brotherhood. And, the way you guys talk about each other, you can kind of feel what that is. Just fill us in on kind of how that is built among guys that spend so much time together, the brotherhood that is a defense, that is a football team, that is even just the linebacking position.
Well, yeah, man, like a true brotherhood, it always starts, you got to be able to hold the next guy next to you accountable, because all brotherhoods got to start. You got to be able to have that open, honest dialogue. Whether it's good things or bad things, you got to be able to do that. And I feel like Coach Ash and support staff, they did a great job molding us into that concept. So now we know, like, listen, if we're really going to try to get to where we want to go, we got to be able to have that that brotherhood mentality. That's whether we got to tell them, like, yo, man, you're slacking, or yo, man, you're doing a good job. So you always got to have that.
Just like what Trevor said, he also, a lot of that thing, things that, building the brotherhood and stuff like that usually carry off on, on the field and off the field as well, doing things outside of football, getting together, getting food, and, just enjoying each other outside of the game. That's how you really build a connection with a person and getting to know each other.
Well, as you guys been, two guys to look up to, how has it been, trying to mold these young guys into having being just like you guys and having that same relationship? Guys like Tyshawn Fogg and Trevor Maddox-Williams, those are guys I'm sure they look up to you in their roles. So how's it been trying to develop them as well and having that brotherhood with them, the younger guys?
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with starting a relationship with them, because it's hard to really develop anything if you don't have a relationship with someone. So the first step was obviously like, let's develop a relationship. Let's find out, what I mean? And then, we do a great job like creating competition. And, competition is for the best at the end of the day. So once we develop that relationship, create competition, everything just kind of flows and starts going from there. So, one of the things me and D and I both did was like, we both like took a young guy that was in a position, and we just made sure we spent a lot of time with them, whether it was watching film, playing the game, spending like off the field time. So off the field, like time together and stuff like that.
The competition between the two of you. Phyllis, I mean, the tackles, yeah. I mean, we know that, like I said, you both have been top 10. We're top 10 last year in the Big Ten in tackles each. Just kind of take us through what that's like. Is it just in everything that you're competing? Is it not just tackles? Is it in everything?
I would say a lot. It's everything. We probably playing Fortnite and trying who see you get the most kills during the game, or we playing like 2K or Madden. We always gonna compete against that because that's just a part of our nature. But yeah, just outside of football, just really competing on like just little stuff. But like also it's just building connection. Just to get to know each other. So yeah.
Diaz, I gotta ask you, that Kansas game when you got that block field goal, what that last 20 yards feel like, man? I know what it's like after playing the whole series and then you get the ball, you're like, oh shoot, I gotta get this 60-yard run. What that last 20 yards feel like?
It was kind of crazy because I actually, when I scored, I went to the sideline. I told Trevor, I was like, yo, man, I'm kind of gassed for this. He was like, oh, yo, man, I need you out there. I was like, all right, cool. I just, sucked it up. I went out there. I was still gassed, though.
I know you were,
yeah,
man.
It was cool.
Do your eyes just get ridiculously wide when you see the gap that you have to run through in the middle of that line to block that kick? I mean, like, at what point on that play did you realize you had it?
I guess I went to coach the first time we ran the same kind of call, but the guy didn't block me, so I was like, coach, we could go back to that. I think I could get through. And he said, yeah, of course. So the opportunity presented itself, and it was wide open. And I was like, wait, this actually happened just now? So I jumped in the air, put my arms up, just hoping that I get a tip, something on the ball, and wound up blocking it,
Now, that last 20 yards, did you get a little push at the last 5? I thought somebody gave you a little push from behind the last 5.
Yeah, I had some of my linebackers like Tariq Maddox, he was blocking for me, so Isaiah Wharton too. So if I didn't have those blocks, man, I would have probably got hulked or something, man.
All right, but with that in mind, you're always competing. You jealous when that happens?
Nah, man. I love that, man. At the end of the day, I'm watching my brother flourish, so that's always good to me, man. I remember, like, right before the play, I looked at him. I'm like, yo, D, go get it. Right before you did tell me that. I don't know if you can see it on TV, but I was like, yo, go get it, bro. And it happened, so I was gassed too, so I'm running down, putting my hands up and stuff. But yeah.
What is that like though? After a touchdown, big moment like that, celebrating on the sideline with each other. That's where everyone feeds off of. We get to make a big play, big third down stop, a big interception, big touchdown. That celebration that gets the whole crowd going into the game. What's that like on the sideline for you guys?
I would say it's really exciting. Like even when Trevor makes plays, like I'm more excited, for him. Even when I'm more excited when he makes plays than when I make a play. Just to see him, doing this thing and flourishing and being great at his position as well. So he's one of the guys I look at, in the conference as one of the top guys. So having him right next to me and competing as well with him and stuff like that is just amazing. Just to see his work and progress.
We're visiting with Deontay Roberts and Trevor Morse, Rutgers linebackers, here on this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. I'm going to throw out a couple of names to each of you, and you just give me kind of the first thing that comes to mind. Okay. Keep it clean. I'm just, whether it's your coaches or your fellow teammates, okay? Yep. Jay Neiman.
Passionate. I would say passionate.
Passionate?
Yeah.
Great coach.
Okay. Elam Lamore.
Quiet. He's quiet. Sound like he's quiet as a mouse.
P-way guy, man.
He doesn't talk at
different.
all. Very quiet.
P-way guys, they different.
Tyreek Maddox-Williams.
He's a laughing. He always wants to laugh, man. Whether if he's getting yada, he's always smiling and laughing.
I say he's goofy. Real goofy.
Is he like? Every group has that guy. Is he that guy in the linebacking group?
He's one of those guys, but he's a lot fun to be around. So
yeah, when it's time to lock in, he locks in. Yeah. But he's one of those guys that always has a smile on his face. You know what I mean? Like he'll come back to the huddle laughing or something. Like, yo, what are you laughing about? He's like, you know what I mean? He's laughing. Oh my God.
Isaiah Wharton.
Leader. He's a tremendous leader. A tremendous leader. One of the guys I look up to as a leader. Myself even being a leader. So. Tremendous leader.
Yeah, he's definitely a lead by example type of guy, and that's another guy that actually I live with off campus. So I have a really close relationship with him too. Actually, all three of us live together, so that leadership is definitely a big thing for him.
A couple more of the guys who you're kind of tutoring. Tyshawn Fogg.
Oh, he's a very intelligent guy. He's very intelligent.
Yeah, smart, intelligent guy.
And last one I'll hit you with is Olakunle Fatukasi.
03.
03, man. He's real athletic. A lot of people might not know that, but he's real athletic. He could jump and run. He can do everything, man. He's real athletic.
Okay.
He's a real cool guy. Very nonchalant, man. Real down to earth. Like you always have a good conversation with him about football, life, all that good stuff.
Chris Ash.
Oh, passionate. Passionate as well.
I got two things. Who's the hype man of the team? Who's the one who gets everyone going?
I'll probably say Julius Turner.
Okay.
Julius Turner. I'll say he's always got a little motor going on and stuff, saying something to get everybody going. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely the guy.
He definitely brings that southern swag. You know what I mean? Sometimes he's saying stuff you don't even know what he's saying, but it just gets you hyped. All right, cool.
I understand that when you don't know what they're saying and things like that. But the last one, I know you guys got to keep your frame and everything, but everyone likes to eat as a football team. Where do you guys like to eat?
So for the past couple of weeks, me, Trevor, and Kyle Hester have been going out to different places. like restaurants and different things. Just trying out like every Wednesday, actually, trying out different spots. So
please don't tell me sushi, bro, because old lineman last time.
That was Jonah. Jonah was here last week and said, I can't get it over the $20 sushi place that's up in Bridgewater.
I'm like, come on,
actually,
man.
we went to a spot 2 weeks ago. It was called Bonefish.
Bonefish Grill.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So
at Bang Bang Shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was real good. So that's a spot for me.
And when you're, and as far as the video games are concerned, like who's better than who at what? At Fortnite? At
me, of course.
All of them.
Yeah, of course, me.
All right, all right. On 2K, what teams are you playing with?
Philadelphia Sixers.
I'm playing with the Lakers because LeBron there, so he a cheat code himself. So the Lakers.
Oh, come on. Are you a Sixers fan?
Yeah, I'm a Sixers fan.
Big Sixers fan. Who's your guy, Simmons or Embiid?
I like Embiid, man.
Yeah.
If he stays healthy, he's good money. Though. I like Embiid a lot.
I tell you, he's a funny guy.
He's a very funny guy.
But as you guys are now, older in the program, I know you guys want to continue your careers in the NFL. But once football's over with it, what is your plans? You guys have any idea what you want to do?
I kind of want to get into real estate because, like, one of my things I feel like I'm pretty good at is, like, I like communicating with people, vibing with people and stuff like that. And I feel like that would be something that would definitely, like, fit up my alley. And, like, also I'm very competitive. Like, you guys know, like, I'm competitive. So I feel like I could bring that competitive nature to, like, the real estate type job and all that good stuff.
For myself, I would say that, entertainment business, if it's music or, like, acting, I like just, like, outgoing stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm into, like fashion and all different type of weird stuff. But, yeah.
Hey, I respect it. Good stuff, man.
All right. Last one before we let you go. What do people outside the fans, everybody outside the program, what do they not know about your football team? Yeah, about your teammates. What do they not know about this program right now as far as the energy, whatever it is that you guys have that's keeping you together through some tough times?
So I'll have to say, a lot of people may not know, it's kind of rough right now, but, there's a lot of talent on that team that's, being developed, for the, long coming years and stuff like that. So, just to see being in my last year and, to see those guys that, is going to be after me and, for the years to come, it's just tremendous talent, that's going to be around that program to build up and, bring the R where it's, going to be.
Excellent stuff. Listen, Trevor Morris, Deontay Roberts, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Hey, good luck, guys.
All right, we'll take a timeout. Coach Ash will rejoin us in a moment here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison on the Chris Ash Show.
At Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, caring is more than a job. It's our responsibility as a business leader and as citizens of this state. Through the Horizon Foundation for New Jersey, we're committed to working alongside those who share our goals. We're caring for our neighbors by supporting programs that help them manage important health issues. We're connecting people with health education that's easier to understand and accessible to all members of our diverse communities. We're creating inspiration by supporting arts and cultural programs that entertain, illuminate, and enrich the lives of our citizens. By sharing our time and resources, we aim to be not only a better company, but a better member of the communities where we work and live. Visit us at community.horizonblue.com and learn more about how the Horizon Foundation for New Jersey is working to support organizations that make New Jersey healthier.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
Best tailgate? It's gotta be burgers. And an ice cold Coke.
Real football y pollo asado.
Hoops and wings. Dude, subs.
Nah, hot dog.
No, Dodger dog.
I'll drink to that. Pass me a Coke. It's gotta be crawfish. Mac and cheese. No. 7-layer dip. Ribs. No contest.
Hummus.
What?
You need a hot grill.
And an ice cold Coke.
Of course.
Football and Coke. Come on.
It's got to be Coke.
Game day? Race day.
Calls for Coke. You know it.
It's Tailgating 101.
Rutgers facing Maryland this week down in College Park. It's Saturday at noon. The game is airing on BTN and on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Again, it is noon. Rutgers and the Terps of Maryland. Terps at 3-2 on the year. We'll talk about them in just a few moments. But we have returned to Quaker Steak and Lube. We've got a few minutes left on the Chris Ash Show. Once again, our telephone number is 877-384-1869. 877-384-1869. You can tweet us questions at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio on Twitter. Meant to get to this earlier, and we touched on it just a bit, but I wanted to bring it back, and that is a couple of your guys at wide receiver. You're really starting to see some guys take some steps forward, whether it's Shameen Jones, Bo Melton a little bit, Coach, the development of that position. Eric mentioned it earlier, but just want to get a little deeper into that position. Eddie Lewis as well, who is a true freshman, has come in and done a nice job.
Yeah, I think overall the group is really working hard to improve. They're not where they want to be yet, but they're a lot better than what they were when we started. And I really like the attitude and the effort and the strain to try to improve in all aspects. We need to block better. We need to catch more consistently. We need to run our routes more detailed and all that stuff. But it is so much better than what it was. And that's why we had so much production in the pass game here this last Saturday. But you can see the production of the young wide receivers with Bo, Shameen, Eddie Lewis getting in the action also. Those guys are all young players going to be around here for several more years. They just keep getting better each week.
And as a head coach, you have your special teams, defensive side and the defensive backs. But when you need to put a fire under a certain position, do you see yourself over there putting that fire under the guys, or do you rely on your assistants? Or are you sitting there watching and grilling them as they go through their individual drills and just lining up and playing in a team offense, things like that?
Yeah, I spend most of my time over on the defensive side. I spend it over with Deontay and Trevor as much as I can. But I do, go over every now and then and watch the offensive side, especially when we're throwing and catching. I just want to see the receivers, how they're continuing to work and improve. And I don't say a whole lot to them because, again, I've learned a long time ago that it's if I'm not sure what I'm talking about, it's better to keep my mouth shut. And I've never been an offensive coach before. I do know, a lot about the fundamentals and the details of it, and every now and then I'll make a coaching point. But I don't want to say something to an offensive player that might be different than what his position coach has said. So I'm very cautious about saying a whole lot to those guys.
Coach, actually, I've kind of made a career about not talking about what you don't know about, and it's been okay. So it's a little underrated. Feel free to do it.
Maybe I'll come join you for a day.
Chris, you're crazy, man.
Coach, as you're preparing here, second half of the season coming up, just where you're taking this team in terms of the mentality here moving forward. Do you try to, it's difficult to do. How do you wipe away kind of what's happened and try to just move on to the next play, move on to the next series, move on to the next game with the younger guys in particular as they, listen, they're getting some baptism by fire here.
Yeah, well, everybody's got to improve. We've got to improve as coaches. Our older players have to improve. Our younger players, our whole football team has to improve in a lot of areas. And that's really the focus. If we're all in with our mindset and our attitude and our effort every day, then we can focus on the next challenge. And that's really what it is. The next challenge is to have a great Thursday practice and prepare for Maryland. We can't control or go back and change what's happened in the first half of the season. It's unfortunate, but we can't. We can learn from it and help develop a plan on how to get out of it and improve as we move forward. And we talk all the time, the most important battle is the one that we're in right now today. And it's about trying to have a great Thursday tomorrow. And it's no different on a field. You can't go back and take back a bad play. You got to learn from it, move on, and try not to let it happen again. And we call that, taking it from, leadership guy Tim Kite, E plus R equals O. Oh, there's an event, there's a response that gets the outcome. And if it's a negative one, respond the right way so you can get the outcome you want the next time.
And I know you were preparing to get these guys to go on the road. You've had 2 opportunities already. How do you prepare a young team now? You got more younger guys playing now than you had maybe back when you were on the road. How do you get them ready to go into a different environment and play?
Well, that's always hard. You can't simulate that in practice. I'll be honest with you. Our focus is not about going on the road in a different environment. Our focus is just trying to get better fundamentally every day and execute our job better and better, as we go. And that's it. We know where we're at. We know what we need to improve on. We're not as far off. I've said this before, not as far off as people think. Defensively, again, 62 snaps, 4 plays made it look like an awful day. And that's unfortunate. That's reality. We've got to work really hard to be more disciplined, more consistent, and be fundamentally sound and try to eliminate those 4 plays or cut them down. And have those guys or those type of plays not beat us. And that's really our focus right now. It's not about going to Maryland and the environment. It's about improving ourselves to be the best that we can be.
All right, quick timeout. Come back with a preview of Maryland next. This is the Chris Ash Show.
Traffic. It can be more stressful than that last-second Hail Mary pass. But Nissan changed the game. Nissan Rogue has available Nissan Intelligent Mobility, like ProPilot Assist, that can start and stop in highway traffic all on its own and help keep you centered. Nissan Rogue. It's a game changer. Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. ProPilot Assist is an available feature and cannot prevent collisions. Always monitor traffic conditions. Keep both hands on the steering wheel. See owner's manual for safety information.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
At Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, caring is more than a job. It's our responsibility as a business leader and as citizens of this state. Through the Horizon Foundation for New Jersey, we're committed to working alongside those who share our goals. We're caring for our neighbors by supporting programs that help them manage important health issues. We're connecting people with health education that's easier to understand and accessible to all members of our diverse communities. We're creating inspiration by supporting arts and cultural programs that entertain, illuminate, and enrich the lives of our citizens. By sharing our time and resources, we aim to be not only a better company, but a better member of the communities where we work and live. Visit us at community.horizonblue.com and learn more about how the Horizon Foundation for New Jersey is working to support organizations that make New Jersey healthier.
Upcoming Rutgers athletic events presented by MGM Resorts. Rutgers men's soccer taking on Northwestern this Friday at 7 p.m. at Yersack Field. Hope to see you there. Big thanks to MGM Resorts for sponsoring our upcoming events. And as a proud partner of Rutgers Athletics, MGM Resorts invites you to the Music Box at MGM Borgata to see Lewis Black October 12th or 13th. Visit theborgata.com to see all the entertainment experiences MGM Resorts has to offer. All right, Coach, we've got a little bit less than a minute left. A quick preview here from Maryland. It seems like they run the football well, and they're pretty good against the run for Matt Canada this year.
Yeah, Matt Canada's a good friend of mine. We go way back, and he's done a good job in the situation that they've been faced with here this year. They are a run-first offense. They've been pretty productive. I think they've got like 7 or 8 senior starters, so they've got a lot of experience offensively. Completely different system that we'll ever face this year with what they do, so it's a challenge. And then defensively, they took a couple transfers last year that have been thrown into their lineup and have made a difference for them.
All right, Coach. Good luck this week. We'll see you down in College Park on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Enjoy the trip.
Good luck, Coach. We will see you as well. Want to remind you, it is Rutgers at Maryland, noon Saturday from College Park on BTN. Thanks to Brad Darahilo. Thanks to Hasim Phillips, Tim DeMartin, Colin Osborne, and, of course, Paul Schrager, John Essick back in our Rutgers IMG Sports Network studios. For Eric LeGrand and the coach, Chris Ash, thanks so much for joining us on this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show.
You've been listening to the Chris Ash Show on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Join us throughout the season from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison to hear from the head football coach of the Scarlet Knights. The Chris Ash Show has been brought to you by The Chris Ash Show is an exclusive presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports.